The phone just ended. The rough, threatening voice of the kidnappers rang out from the other end of the line, like a cold knife stabbing straight into Liza's heart. Her blood froze, her breath hitched. The whole world around her seemed to collapse. James. Why was someone else using James's phone? Was James in danger? At that moment, all the emotions in her surged, intensely intertwined, creating a fierce storm. Horror, fear, anxiety, insecurity all surrounded her at the same time, plunging her into the abyss of despair. She trembled, her limbs went limp, the phone almost fell from her hand. The kidnappers' threats echoed in her head, like sharp needles piercing her eardrums, making her feel dizzy, her head spinning. She was extremely worried, not knowing where James was, what his condition was. Was he injured? Was he scared, in pain? The feeling of helplessness and despair surged, making her feel so small, weak, unable to do anything to protect the man she loved. She blamed herself, regretted her decision to leave him, leaving him alone to face danger. If she hadn't broken up, if she had stayed by his side, perhaps this wouldn't have happened. But in the midst of that emotional storm, a fire of determination burned in her heart. Her sincere love for James gave her strength, dispelling her weakness and fear. She couldn't leave James alone to face danger. She had to act, had to rescue him, no matter what difficulties or dangers she had to face. She put aside all worries and insecurities, focusing on finding information about James. She recalled the small details of her conversation with the kidnappers, trying to find clues. She called James' friends, asking about his situation. She contacted the police, reporting the kidnapping. A strong belief rose in her heart. She believed that she would find James, that she would rescue him. She would not give up, would not retreat until James returned safely. After realizing that James was in danger, Lexi did not waver. She quickly regained her composure and began to think about what she could do. First, she tried to recall the details of the conversation with the kidnappers, especially the voices and sounds around her. She realized that there was the sound of a motorbike engine and the sound of wind, which indicated that James might be held in a deserted area near the forest. Next, she called the police and reported the kidnapping. However, she knew that time was of the essence, and she could not just sit and wait for the police to act. She decided to search for James herself. She remembered that James had mentioned an old warehouse near where he often bought wood. She suspected that the kidnappers might be holding James there. She quickly went to the house, but when she got there, she found it empty. And daunted, she continued to search around the area. She asked the locals, but no one knew anything about the kidnapping. Finally, she saw a suspicious motorbike parked on a deserted road. She decided to follow the motorbike. The motorbike stopped at an abandoned warehouse. She saw the kidnappers tying James up in the warehouse. She decided to take action. She called the police and reported James' location. She then sneaked into the warehouse through the back door. She found James tied up and beaten. She quickly untied James and helped him escape. However, the kidnappers discovered them and chased them. She and James fled into the nearby woods. The kidnappers chased them, but they successfully escaped. The police arrived at the scene and arrested the kidnappers. James was taken to the hospital to treat his injuries. After recovering, he and Leslie reunited. They hugged each other, happy to have found each other. James thanked Lizzie for saving his life. He said that he loved her very much and would never leave her again. Lizzie also said that she loved James and would always be by his side. When he heard that Leslie had risked her life to save James from the kidnappers, Mr. Peter Ingwin was stunned. His whole body stiffened, his eyes widened in surprise, not believing what he had just heard. The girl he had looked down on and tried to stop was actually his son's savior. The emotions in Mr. Peter's heart at this moment were extremely chaotic mixed together. The initial surprise and amazement gradually gave way to deep gratitude and appreciation. He realized that if it weren't for lytudiep, perhaps James would no longer be in this world. The bravery and courage of that little girl had deeply moved him, a teen. But immediately after, regret and shame welled up in Mr. Peter's heart. He blamed himself for being too foolish, too stubborn. He had misjudged lytudiep, had only seen her through her appearance and past. He did not realize her noble heart, her selfless sacrifice. His harsh words and cold actions towards her suddenly became extremely painful, tormenting his conscience. Mr. Peter rushed to the hospital where James was being treated. When he saw lytudiep, he did not dare to look straight into her eyes. He felt that he did not deserve her forgiveness. But then he still mustered up all his courage, went to her, bowed his head and said sincere thanks. His voice was trembling, choked with emotion. The words came from the bottom of his heart. He admitted his mistake, expressed deep remorse, and thanked her for saving his son's life. In Lytudiep's eyes, Mr. Peter saw no resentment, only gentleness and sympathy. He realized that this girl was not as petty and selfish as he had thought. She has a tolerant and generous heart, ready to forgive the mistakes of others. From that moment, Mr. Peter completely changed his attitude towards Lytudiep. He no longer considered her an outsider, but a member of the family. He loved and cherished her like his own daughter. He understood that the love between James and Tu Diep was sincere and precious, and he would do everything to nurture that love. Thank you for following our story. Wish you all the best.